All right, so I'm going to stay sitting quite close to the camera so you can see, and we're just going to do a little bit of reflexology on the face to help to relax and just get us into that lovely place of calm. So find a comfortable seat. You can sit up on a cushion if you've got one handy, or folded mat or something to just raise your sitting bones a little. Find a nice long spine. Just take a moment to feel centered here and grounded. Maybe close the eyes. And we just take some time to check in with the body. So let's put one hand on the heart space, one hand on the belly. And allow your attention to begin to turn inwards. Seeing what comes up as you start to focus on your body, on your breath. And it's really normal when you start to notice what's going on, that you feel those achy bits, those slightly tense bits come up first of all. They're kind of like clamoring. Look at me. Because actually it really helps to notice them, to really see them, and not in a kind of way that they are annoying and that we're kind of aware of them all day, but in a kind of, yeah, I get it, I really see it, I really accept that feeling that I've got in my body as part of who I am right now. So without any kind of story attached or any reaction, if you can help it, just noticing and feeling into the sensation that you have, whatever that might be. Notice also whether or not your mind is quite busy and active, or if it's fairly calm. And taking a snapshot of how we are right now. And start to allow the breath to slow a little. So as you inhale through the nose, think about breathing down into the belly, let the belly rise and soften. Think about breathing into the rib cage, the side ribs, the back ribs. And then as you exhale, let that slow down. And breathe all the way out. And let the inhale be nice and full and deep. And the exhale be nice and slow. And as you breathe out, a feeling of letting go of your day. Letting go of anything that's come before this. You might even repeat to yourself, let go, silently, slowly. Feeling everything settle. And we're going to bring our pointy fingers up and just place them on the inner part of the eyebrow. So just around the bone that goes around the eyes, the occipital ridge. If you come into the corner on the inside, you should feel just a little notch in the bone. If you can't feel it, it doesn't really matter as long as you're just below the middle part of the eyebrow. And gentle pressure, so it's not a very strong kind of pushing, it's just arresting the fingertips there and taking a nice deep breath in. And a long breath out. And moving the fingertips to the middle of the eyebrow, just on that bony ridge around the eye again. Take a nice deep breath in. A long breath out. Now I'll keep going along that bone to the outer edge of the eyebrows. You're still on the kind of ridge here around the eye, but just underneath the outer edge of your eyebrow. Take a nice deep breath in. A long breath out. Now we're moving our fingers around under the eye to the point just below the pupils, so in line with the pupils on that bottom part. And you may again feel a little ridge. There's like a little knobbly notch in there. Take a breath. And then let it go. Come back to where you started, just on the inside of the eye. Just let your weight settle into those fingertips very gently. Good. We're going to bring one of our thumbs now to the point directly between the eyebrows. Just placing the thumb there and gently circling on that point. So this is a really good one for stress relief. As you do that, breathe and see if you can soften around the face and the eyes. You can go both ways or just one way. And you'll kind of know when you find the right spot. So if you just move your thumb a little. Okay, and then we're going to place those fingertips, those forefingers, again out to the temples. Now it doesn't really matter where on the temples. I quite like it low on the temples, but it might feel better high for you. But anywhere you can feel a little bit tense or a little bit achy. It just depends what's going on in your head. And we're going to circle little gentle circles there. As we do that, really focus on softening the lower jaw away from the top jaw. So you've got this space between the teeth. You're relaxing down those muscles on either side of your jaw. Sternocleidomastoid muscles. They're muscles that are incredibly strong in relation to their size. So they work so hard, the jaw muscles. They get very, very tight. And then we're going to bring all of our 3 middle fingers just below the cheekbones on either side. And that's where that muscle is. So if you have the top finger closer to the ear and just running down along the cheekbones, relax your jaw, and a little circling in there can feel really, really nice as you relax that bottom jaw, or even gentle downwards movements, like you're trying to lengthen and relax that muscle. It's quite hard to talk and do that. And just relaxing the jaw. And if you come up with your pointy fingers to the inside edge of your ear, so along the side of your face, but quite close to the ear, and just gently sweep down there as well. That's a really nice way of relaxing and calming the energy. And you can do this if you wash your face at night. You can do some of these things as you do that, as you clean your face, and that can be really good to help you chill out and calm. It's relaxing the bottom jaw. Okay, we're going to take all of our fingertips up into the hair and the back of the head. So if you've got your hair up, doesn't matter, just dig it in. And give your scalp a little massage at the back here. So there's no right and wrong. You're just kind of going around the back of the head, anywhere that feels nice. Any pressure that feels nice, but really gentle is just as good as firm. So you don't have to do it with any kind of pressure, and it can feel a bit like you're washing your hair, but it's nice. And then allow your thumbs to find the very top of the neck, right at the base of the skull. So you've still got your hands in your hair, and you're just going to circle the thumbs along the ridge of your skull bone where it finishes and meets the neck. So there's a little sort of rounded, lumpy bit, and then it goes into the muscles of your neck. And just where those two meet, I want you to circle along, and you can start inside and go towards the outer edges, or move outwards to inner. It really doesn't matter. You can start to dip your chin towards your chest to make a bit more space there. And if there's a little bit in there that feels a little tight, you can just pause and gently press and take a breath. And we're going to let the hands interlace and rest them now on the head. Let the chin drop forwards a little bit more and let the elbows fall forwards. And then I quite like a little side to side movement of the head here. That might not work for you, but I really find that helps. Just a little bit. And then we're gently going to bring the head back up to the center. Release the hands. We're going to take our left hand over to the right side of our neck and kind of cupping the neck. Up at the top, just give that side of the neck a few squeezes. So squeezing and releasing. Work down the neck towards the shoulder. It's quite nice to squeeze the muscle and breathe in. And then breathe out and just relax the muscle. So that can work really nicely. Any angle that feels good, any particular place. The key again here is just be gentle. Just easing out the top of the shoulder, the side of the neck. And you probably feel as you do this how everything's really connected. You know, if you've got a bit of tension in your jaw, you probably feel tight at the base of the skull, the side of the neck, and into the shoulder. Okay, let's release that. Just press down on that right shoulder slightly. Encourage it to soften. And then we'll swap sides. So just head a little bit over as you bring the right hand around. Cup the side of the neck, a little squeeze and release there. And you can close your eyes and just imagine a lovely massage therapist doing this for you. And then if you want to breathe in as you squeeze, breathe out as you relax. It feels really nice. Okay, and then gently press down on that shoulder. And then relax your hands down to rest on your legs and take a moment, let your eyes close and just see how you feel now. Notice any change. For me, it's quite a big one. It's quite a big change. Might be tiny, but it might be big, might be huge. Okay, we're going to move into our restorative postures and we're going to start with legs up the wall pose. So I know we normally finish with it. I'm going to start with it today. So it can be a chair, sofa, or dining room chair, or a wall, or a closed door. I want you to put a cushion underneath your bottom. So cushion down next to, or pillow down next to the wall. Make sure that you have got a blanket in case you feel a bit chilly and something else for your head. So I'm going to use 2 bed pillows because I think that's the best arrangement for this one. And if you have an eye pillow, bring it with you. So getting set up with one pillow close to the wall and another pillow handy and a blanket handy. We're going to just come in quite close to the wall, get your hip in nice and close, and carefully come back onto your elbows and spin your legs up the wall. And you may have to wriggle in a bit when you get there. It doesn't matter if the legs aren't dead straight, they can be a little bit bent, so it can be a bit of an angle. It's really not about a stretch, this pose. It's just about the energy of having the legs up. Bring your pillow or cushion in under your head and see if you can scoop the edge of the pillow so it supports the neck, so you don't feel that your chin is lifted or squashed into your chest, but you've got a lovely neutral spine. Maybe have a blanket over your middle or over your, as much of you as you can get it over, if you've got a big one. And an eye pillow over your eyes or something over your eyes. And if you don't have an eye pillow, you're just going to take the bases of your hands and place them over your closed lids, just for a few breaths. In fact, you can do that even with the eye pillow in the way or the folded scarf. or whatever you've got. With just the base of the hands just resting over the eyes. So this gentle pressure on the eyes is really good at toning or activating the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a cranial nerve that runs all the way down, sort of from the eyes, down the neck, and it innervates the lungs and also comes into the digestive system, the diaphragm, where our main muscle of breathing. And it's really got a lot to do with how well our parasympathetic nervous system works. And if it's got good tone, it's working well, then all of those different parts of our body are working together and relaxing well. If it's not communicating very well, it can help keep us in that more stressy, active, sympathetic response. So little gentle pressure on the eyes actually helps to encourage the activity in the vagus nerve, which is what we want. So if you've got your hands up now, you can release them, bring them onto the belly or down by your sides. Have a fidget, get really comfy. Take some time to settle in. Feel your body dropping down into the support beneath you, into the floor, into the earth. So nice long deep breath in, and then slow steady breath out, all the way out with the breath. So we're going to bring our awareness to the exhale now. The exhale more important than the inhale. So take a lovely deep inhale and then breathe out for a count of 6 or 8. And as you come down through that counting, feeling as if your body is settling even more. Inhale no more than 4. And then a longer exhale, and just counting down that steady breath all the way out. And it's like we're counting ourselves down into gravity. So becoming heavier. Each number adds a little bit of weight to your body. And you settle a little bit more down into the earth. So as you lie here, consciously scanning the body for any tightness or tension. And if you find any areas that do feel a little bit sticky, just focus on breathing into those areas for a while. Imagining the breath can travel there to those tissues and just give them a little bit of a massage, encouraging them to release on the out breath. So we're becoming this little detective. We're sleuthing around our body, finding anything that just needs a little extra encouragement to soften. If you want to move your legs at any point, if you need to bend the knees, then just go ahead. There's no need for you to stay with the legs up. You can feet together, knees wide is a good one, or widen your legs, whatever works for you. But having the legs like this inverted up into the air is really, really good to calm the nervous system. It's quite good to lower the blood pressure. Helps with the flow of blood up into the brain. It's good for lymphatic drainage in the legs and venous return of blood to the heart. It takes a little bit of pressure off the system. And if you are playing the lovely playlist I sent, or your own music, or you have something in your head, music or counting, just listening to that, letting it carry you. As you relax here. A couple more breaths. Letting the head feel heavy, shoulders feel heavy. And so gently, we're going to bend the knees a bit and slide the feet just down the wall a little way. Have the knees hip distance wide. And we're going to just take the hips a little up off the floor. So it's like you're coming into bridge pose, but not very far. Just press into the wall and peel the back away from the floor. Just a few vertebrae, as many as feels comfy, and then roll it back down onto the mat. So you could think of your spine like a chain, each vertebrae like the links in a chain, and you're just picking them up one at a time, and then laying each vertebrae back down, one after the other. So that's just finding a little bit of space between those bones. Easing out those little tiny muscles around all of your spine. You've got little ones in between all of your vertebrae and long ones that run down either side. Just rolling up and down a couple of times if that feels good for you. I really like that. I find that really helps to get into anything going on in the spine. Okay, I'm going to hug the legs in. If you need to move your blanket off your body, go ahead. Just give them a little squeeze in. Have a little movement here, rocking across that low back, massaging it into the floor. Just feeling those hips soften. So you can have your knees wider. They don't have to come straight in. So if that feels better in your hips or your back, take your knees a little wider. Or you don't have to have them super close, whatever works. Just rolling around. Using the weight of the body to ease into that low back. Okay. I'm going to come over onto one side when you're ready, whichever one works for you. Just take a pause, don't rush. And we're going to move sloth-like into the next pose. So nice and slow as you press the hands into the floor to come out. Keeping everything heavy and relaxed. We're going to set up for supported child's pose. So we want quite a good high stack of things. I quite like to put the cushions from my sofa that are a bit more sturdy first, and then a long bed pillow on the top. That might be enough. You might want 2 pillows or another blanket to get even higher. I'm going to put one between my heels and my sitting bones because my knee isn't great, and that just gives the angle, it makes the angle less steep, so it's more comfortable. And then if you want, you can have your blanket over you, which feels nice. And we're going to widen the knees either side of our stack and fold forwards into a lovely supported child's pose, and just fidget around, squeeze the pillows in towards you until you feel really comfy. So lovely. If for some reason child's pose doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. It's not really necessarily for everyone. You can just come onto one hip and kind of do this exactly the same but sideways. You're just on one hip lying on your side, on your stack. That's a nice alternative. Let your head turn in whichever direction feels the most comfortable. Try not to have any weight going down through your elbow, so reach the arms out long and then let them relax. Now we're going to focus on releasing our weights down into our supports with our breath. So let yourself take a nice deep breath in, maybe even a little sigh as you breathe out. And just settle in. Bringing your awareness into the back of your rib cage. And see if you can focus the breath into that area, so into the lower part of your ribs, around the back. So as you inhale, you feel that expanding, opening. As you exhale, relaxing back. And I quite like to think when the ribs move on the inhale, opening like a fan. And then closing again. Opening like a fan or an accordion. Something that kind of gets lovely and wide and spacious. And if I was in class with you, I'd come and place my warm hands just over the lower back ribs there to get you to focus on that feeling of warmth. Breathing into that area so you could imagine that that's what I'm doing now. That really helps to deepen the breath, helps you to use your diaphragm well, and it also helps to find more out of the breath because we're using this back part of our ribs, this back part of our lung. Taking some time to feel the lovely, comforting, protective qualities of this pose. We're in our little fetal C shape. Our front body is protected and safe. Giving yourself permission to relax here. And offer you a mantra. You can use it or you can create your own. It's safe to relax. It's safe to release what I'm holding. I choose to put it down now. It's safe to relax. It's safe to release what I'm holding. I choose to put it down now. So if that resonates with you, you could try saying that now a few times to yourself. A couple more breaths here. And gradually letting your awareness come back up to the surface. Sliding the hands in. Gently pressing into the floor to come back up. If it's comfortable to just rest here on the knees, just take a pause, or you could come over onto one hip or onto your bottom. Okay, we're going to move into a twist pose, keeping the props as they are. And when you're ready, come over onto one hip so that your knees both go in the same direction. You might want a bit of a higher stack. So if you've got something else, you can grab a hold of another pillow, for example. Grab another pillow. So both knees going off in the same direction. They don't have to be stacked one on top of the other. So you can let the top leg just come forwards a bit. You're going to frame your stack of pillows with each hand as you turn towards it, and then lie the body down over your pillows. So you're coming into a bit of a twist in the lower back and into the upper back. It's not a deep twist. If you want to pop anything on, like a blanket or anything like that, go ahead. And you can either have your head in the same direction as your knees, or if you have got enough rotation and it feels comfortable, you can look in the opposite direction. It's not often that comfortable. So whatever works. Again, try not to have too much or any pressure through the elbows. You're not trying to prop yourself up away from the floor. You're trying to relax down into it. And let the eyes close once you're there. And I love in twists really feeling into the belly breath. Because you've got that slight rotation, the breath just feels like it deepens the twist with every breath in. You're just seeing if you can tune into how you feel that breath, where it's showing up in your body. Staying with that focus on the breath. If you want to come back to a mantra that works, affirmation. Feeling yourself becoming heavy as you rest here. Becoming still. And if you find that thoughts are coming up as you relax, it's perfectly normal. We are not used to being bored. We are not used to being still. We like to distract ourselves. That's what our brains are used to. And it takes time and patience to develop the ability to be still, mentally as well as physically. So just if that's happening, noticing what thoughts you're having, giving them a label. So thoughts about Christmas, thoughts about food, normally what I think about. And then once you've done that, See if you can bring your attention back to your breath. Shift your awareness back. Notice the next breath in the body. And notice the next exhale, lovely and long. And try and be patient. If you have to keep repeating that, that's absolutely normal and absolutely fine. And that is, in fact, mindfulness. That noticing practice, bringing your awareness back. And a couple more breaths on this side. And gradually bringing ourselves around to the other side. You might be able to do that without even opening your eyes. So just move really slow, take your time. I like to just spin around, face away from my stack, shift onto the other hip and come back down. So that's kind of one of the easiest ways of doing it, but you could come onto all fours. Remember that you're turning towards your pillows, framing them with your hands, and then coming down. So you get a little bit of rotation in the back. A few more breaths on this side. And we're gradually going to come out when you're ready, just sliding those hands in. Taking your time to brace yourself up. Coming around to sit on the bottom, but keep your eyes closed if you can. Just take a moment of stillness here, back into seated. Notice the quality of your breath and the body. Actually, our next pose, we're just going to use the props as they are. You may need a little bit more space. You may need to move them away from you. We're going to come into our reclining Baddha Konasana pose. So if it's comfortable, soles of the feet together, knees wide, and you can use your blanket to prop up the ankles. So you can just take it, so there's a long sausage. Mine is huge. So fold it over a couple of times. Place it across the top of the feet and then sweep the edges around and underneath your legs so that it come into the middle. And that just provides a little bit of support on these outer ankles. And that might be enough. If that doesn't feel comfortable for your hips or whatever reason, just loosely cross your ankles in front of you and maybe have the blanket just over you. So that's a nice alternative. Or you could have the legs out long or the knees bent. Fairly close to your cushions with your lower back, and then lie down over your stack. Have a fidget and get comfy. So if you've got a squishy pillow, you can just bring it in underneath the neck so it's supporting the curve of the neck. It can be really, really nice to have an eye pillow in this pose. And the hands can either come out to the side, palms up, or rest in on the belly. So get comfy. My favourite one. I think they're all my favourite ones actually, but today this is my favourite one. Now this pose is really about opening up through the chest, and if you have your knees wide, through the hips and the pelvis. So let's think about the energy of the heart space, which is the main area we're focusing on now. So that energy associated with Anahata, which is our heart chakra, is the energy of giving and receiving love, and the energy of self-love and forgiveness and kindness. And it's quite easy for this to become a little damaged, a little closed off. To protect ourselves, we often shut down in this area. If we've had any grief or loss or difficulty, it can become a bit blocked, which makes perfect sense to me. And one way you can focus on the energy around this heart space moving freely is through visualization. And the colour for this centre is green, like a vibrant emerald green. So you can imagine that that centre place inside your chest is glowing with that vibrant green light. And as you breathe, you're literally breathing directly into it, and it's brightening. It's almost like it's feeding that light, the energy of the breath. And you can see that now starting to expand throughout your body. And that energy from the heart space is quite a healing energy. So allowing it to flow anywhere in the body that needs it. You can visualize it flowing, flooding through, almost like it's following all the paths of your circulation system, just flowing along those channels, flooding down to wherever it's needed, filling your body with green, vibrant light. Giving yourself permission to open this center, to feel, to connect with your center, your heartfelt desires, your truth. Giving yourself permission to release anything you've been holding in this area. Feeling it melt away with your breath. And let that image, that visualization fade. And just come back to your body lying here, the shape that you're in, feeling supported and held by the props beneath you. Feeling that you can drop your weight into a comfortable, supportive environment around you. Let's take a few more breaths here. Gradually allow your awareness to come back up to the surface of your skin, noticing the shape of your body. Start with a little wriggle of the fingers and maybe the toes, a little shifting about here. We're going to gently roll onto one side, so stay on your stack as you come over to one side for a moment. Eyes closed. Feeling that soft heaviness of the body, sensing into how much you've let go of the tension in your muscles and how heavy your bones feel. It might make you feel really sleepy, that feeling. But that's what we want to find in restorative yoga, is that point between wakefulness and sleep, just on the cusp, where we're really relaxed but we're still present. Doesn't always work. Sometimes we fall asleep, that's fine. We're going to come into a Shavasana with a bit of Yoga Nidra, guided yoga sleep next. And I want you to come into Shavasana nice and slowly. So just take your time again to come up. Set up for a nice comfortable Shavasana. So something under your head, soft pillow. Something underneath your knees as well. So if you have a bolster or another pillow or a couple of cushions underneath your knees so that they're not completely straight, your legs supported. Blanket and eye pillow or something over your eyes if you have something. Get yourself nice and warm. If you need another layer or to put some more socks on or whatever you need. I was thinking maybe doing restorative yoga with hot water bottles would be nice. Just to get really warm. Come and lie down, get comfy. If you need to do anything before you settle, a little fidget or a little rock or anything to release the body, go ahead. Hands can be placed on the belly or down by your sides. Let's take a lovely deep breath in when you're ready. Filling all the way up to the top. And then let that go with a big sigh. Just let it go, let it go. Another one. Big sigh. Feel the body settling back down now. We're going to progressively relax the body. And then take a little journey into Yoga Nidra. All you have to do is listen to my voice. Just take your attention where I ask. You may find yourself drifting, losing track of the words. That's perfectly normal, perfectly fine. I want you to imagine now the crown of your head, a warm white light shining. That light softening, warming and easing wherever it touches. So the top of your head, your scalp starting to smooth and relax. The effect of that light. It's going to flow down and across your scalp, just like warm water flowing around your head, around the sides of your head, the back of your head, flooding down across your forehead, into the eyes, feeling the eyes relaxing in their sockets, down across the face, slowly down across the cheeks and nose, the lips, jaw, chin, inside the mouth, back of the throat, back of the nose, and into your brain, softening and relaxing around the brain and the inside of the skull. the very back of the head and the base of the neck. And flooding around into the neck, so the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, the front of the throat. Inside your throat. This warmth, this ease, softening down. Flowing down now into your chest, into the shoulders, down each arm, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands and fingers. Each finger softening, palm of the hand feeling heavy and warm, almost like you're holding a warm stone in each hand. Flowing down the back, to the top of the back of the shoulders, in between and around your shoulder blades. Down your spine, the back of your ribcage. Down into the lower back. Back of your hips and pelvis. The buttocks. Also down the front of your body and your chest. Around the sides of your chest into your armpits. Down the front ribs, upper belly, navel center, lower belly, sides of your waist, and down into your pelvis, pelvic floor. That warmth flooding into the hips, down each leg, softening the thighs, the knees, lower legs, ankles, feet, down into your toes, all the toes softening, warming, releasing. And that energy keeps flowing from the crown of your head and flooding through your body. That warm light easing out internally and externally. Gently let that go. Notice how heavy you feel. So heavy. Your limbs resting. Feel the weight of the air above you, the weight of your bones. All the organs heavy in your body. Feel the muscles draping away from the bones. Now come into a sensation of lightness. Body feeling so feather light, spacious and free. Almost like it were barely resting on the ground beneath you. Just hovering, so light, so easy. And back to the feeling of heaviness, dropping down into the earth, giving into gravity, feeling weight settling down. And back to the feeling of lightness, feather light, gently, barely grazing the earth, almost like you could float away. So light, so spacious and free. Now see if you can create the experience of heaviness and lightness simultaneously. Don't think about it too much, just feel both those qualities in the body, in the mind, grounded yet light and spacious. And slowly let that image fade away. And imagining now that you are standing in a beautiful valley. So looking around at that valley, and it's spring. You can see flowers, hear insects and birds. Off to one side, there's some running water. Breathe in that scent of spring in the air. And you're facing towards one end of the valley where there is a hill. It looks quite steep. And you decide that you would get a really great view if you walked up that hill. But you're carrying a backpack, and that backpack feels heavy. It feels too heavy to carry. But you know that for some reason you have to take it with you. So you start to walk towards the hill, feeling the incline getting steeper and it becoming a little bit harder each time you take a step. But you really want to get to the top of that hill. You really want to look back over the beautiful valley. And you realize that if you don't put the backpack down, you're not going to get there. So feel the weight of that backpack. Feel how it's stopping you from finishing your climb to the top of the hill, from seeing clearly what you want to see. And you make a decision to set it down. You slowly take it off of your shoulders. You let it fall down to the floor, in amongst the flowers and grasses. And you take a moment to stand without the weight of that backpack. You notice how free and light you feel. And you start to take steps up the hill towards the summit, away from that weight. And the further you move away from it, the less important it seems. And you realize that you don't need it. And you can keep going. And you keep going up with more of a spring in your step to the very top. And you turn around and you look back at the beautiful valley. Breathe in the fresh air and the beautiful image of spring and new things growing. And you feel free. You feel strong. And you slowly let that image fade. And you let yourself come back into your physical body here. You take a moment to see if anything feels different. As you slowly breathe, noticing how the breath moves you, allowing the breath to be breathed by you, allowing it to breathe you. Noticing that rising and falling, perfectly in balance, effortless, calm. So you can stay here now in this state of peace, calm, stillness for as long as you want to. I'm not going to bring you out, so just take your time when you're ready to move. Move slowly. Transition to your bedtime routine gently. See if you can maintain that feeling of peace and calm in your body. And I wish you a really wonderful Christmas, and I hope to see you in 2021. Namaste.